So there was some random farming game that I have never heard of until today. It's called Farm Folks, and basically people are mad about this random indie game that would have never been popular otherwise. But of course, it's a certain group of people, the talking heads as I'll call them, because of course there's more than just the quote unquote fandom menace. It was called the talking heads of that's part of the internet. Basically, they have been obsessing over like the past couple of years about having quote unquote attractive women in video games. Basically, they want to have women to look like supermodels. Okay, I get if you're a game developer, you can design however your characters you want. Okay, if the character's ugly, people are gonna have backlash towards it, obviously. But there's now a backlash that is made up by a bunch of people online because the character has jiggle physics. Yes, something that's jiggle physics is happens in a lot of anime games. You don't always see it much in the Western games because it, a lot of people think it is just if they do it, it's like a bunch of weird men sneaking it in. But basically, there's just this game called Farm Folks, and basically it's another indie game. I think if there was never a controversy, which is just why is there a controversy over this? Developer can develop whatever they want, but basically it's a bizarre controversy. This is gonna we're gonna continue this in the series of Boobgate. That's what we call in this Boobgate with Stellar Blade. They started a whole boycott of the game that failed. Okay, because they covered up her boobs as well. In the day one patch because they really just sort of delayed the game a week later and said, "Oh yeah, that's just what the game is." But they were been pissed off. These people have been pissed off either way. Okay, and we'll talk about Stellar Blade is how that game still is missing features that they promised in the game. Kind of like No Man's Sky, okay? There's No Man's Sky developers promised so many things, but we don't get you don't get half of the features, okay? I actually played No Man's Sky. The game was actually really boring. It was really boring. You gotta have it's that type of game that someone. There were a lot of people who do play it, but I thought the game was really boring. I stopped playing it. But the text accompanying the post read, "Oh wait, serious for development talk. We'll take your physics and farm folks as well." And they have been basically, putting physics in the game as well. And, you know, 40, 50, and 90. You know. So basically, the characters walk around. Uh, the boobs move around. The female characters' boobs move around as well. Positives, less than positive, but they clearly change with the culture war because these people from 50 something former Blizzard employees, Pokemon Go, removing the unrealistic hips, which most women do not have hips that look like that. I'm sorry. Okay. They made the characters look ugly. You can make like abominations in Pokemon Go. But the main upset over this, okay, the main upset is they moved hips from Pokemon Go. That's basically the narrative as well. Okay, and perceived censoring of Stellar Blade because they can't see her boobs enough anymore. Okay, it is just so funny that these developers they just want to add things to the game, and these people, the fandom menace, are basically, and of course the left as well. All these I think there was also a controversy with the developers, Black Girl Gamers. They were a developer that no one has heard of until recently, and basically they're basically like Sweet Baby Inc. 2.0. They're a developer that no one cares about, but keeps going into the mainstream because people complain about them basically as well. Basically, Sweet Baby Inc. Is a it's kind of like a weird esque developer. Okay, they don't actually develop the games, but they write the script for the games and say this is what the script should be. And basically, the developer's like, oh yeah, that's a good script, and that's basically what Sweet Baby Inc. does. Okay, that's really all they do. and then they make so the characters are designed the way. Yeah, basically they're a developer. Okay, they hand pick characters to put into the game. Okay, our goal is to not over sexualize the character. Is the opposite. Is to see realistic physics and reactions in the world. We have ragdolls, inverse comeback. So they just want to have realistic physics in the game. It felt natural to have tasteful breast movement in the character. That's basically it. And of course, the fandom is they're gonna over sexualize the characters, obviously, because they want to have a win. They're desperately looking for a win in this avenue. They really want to have this massive win in this avenue that isn't from like some obscure anime that no one cares about. And they're looking for every single random game as well. And seeing this as a win. Okay? That's what they want. They want a massive win in this, and of course, you have the whole thing from the developer. It's funny, the developer is from Turkmenistan. Okay, the country we're now allowed to leave. I'm glad that you've been able to leave Turkmenistan. That's a achievement in itself. And again, most developers, I don't think really want to be a part of the culture war, but they're dragged into it because of these people, these YouTubers online, as well. And it is pretty funny that they don't want to be involved in this. They said they just want to make the game how they want to make it. Same thing with the developers of Celebrate. They just want to make the games how they want to make it. They don't give a crap about this culture war or the fandom menace or the talking heads like the quarterly and stuff. They don't give a crap about their opinions. They want to develop the games how they want to develop the games. And these people are going to go and cry censorship as well every single time they don't get the way. They're honestly a bunch of babies as well. So basically, this is a game that I have never heard of until today, because I don't really keep track of what these people talk about anymore. I don't really keep track of it. But because I didn't really have much types of videos to talk about, as well as, it is pretty funny that these people are making outrage over this random farming simulator game because, some mainstream media sites said they are upset about it. Okay, which again, gaming journalism is basically crap, anyways. Basically the entire revenue is based off them compared about what gaming journalists say. Okay, and being upset over it. Okay, I used to do the same thing, but I have stopped doing that. I think it's a very bad thing to do. But it is funny that these people are still trying, and they still get hundreds of thousands of views. I'm surprised none of these people got quote unquote canceled yet, but there's so many YouTubers who have done, let's just say, for example, the one they love to rag on the most. It's named after like a Pokemon character. Her name sounds like a Pokemon character. So he got canceled like 5 times, but none of these people, I'm surprised, have been like canceled yet. But I wouldn't be surprised that the cancellation will come soon. People still get on YouTube get canceled left and right. Okay, it's just a norm of the internet. And yes, I am against cancel culture, but if the person really is a bad person, like let's just say Sniper Wolf or EDP or any of those Sadie figures on YouTube, then they of course definitely deserve to be canceled, obviously, because they're bad people. I think cancellation should only apply to actual bad people, not just people who said a controversial thing. And I don't think, having a controversial opinion should get someone banned off of YouTube. Unless the opinion is so controversial, then, but I'm talking about like a controversial thing, like, oh, I don't like the original Star Wars trilogy. That doesn't mean you should be canceled offline for not liking the original Star Wars trilogy. That's your opinion. Or having a political opinion that a lot of people sell online. Like these celebrities, like they're so scared that they all have the same political beliefs because they're scared to go to the other political side. But I think we're starting to see a shift in that. I think there should be definitely free celebrities on both sides that are not just internet celebrities. Okay, but Hollywood is basically a bubble. We all know that Hollywood is a massive, massive bubble. And yeah, it is so funny. These people are so upset. People are so upset over this random farming simulator game. Like literally, no one really cares. But at least the culture war is gonna give these guys are gonna get people gonna buy this game simply because of these people. Like, oh, but there's zero physics in this game. We must buy the game. Okay, I think this is gonna set a dangerous precedent in the future that people are gonna buy a game simply because it has quote unquote sexy women in the game. I think this is like this whole thing of Stellar Blade's quote unquote success. It's because of these people, and then they want to call a boycott when they don't get the way. They cry and whine. Okay, I think this is saying a dangerous precedent that people are going to be buying games for boob physics more than actual story or gameplay. Okay, and you see this with the failure of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which most people are sick of Final Fantasy VII, but they'll tell you that we need to go buy the game because of the Tifa beat scene. Or we need to buy Stellar Blade because the character shows her boobs and the game, shows off. I think Eve's like a robot as well, or we need to buy Farm Folks because that has jiggle physics. We need to buy it. Okay, this is saying a very dangerous precedent that we're buying games for the female character's design more than the gameplay or the story. Okay, for example, I remember there was this massive backlash for that Fable game that released, and they're saying they're all gonna boycott the game. But what about the gameplay? What about the story? That stuff matters way more. If the game has a really good story, but they basically make the game flop because they don't like the female character's design. I don't know if that's the main character or not, or as a customizable character. Of course, we don't really know, but again, these people are making such a fuss over female character designs. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you look at the channels, there's tons of videos about them making a fuss over, people complain about Japanese character designs. Like, no one gives a crap. Like, no one gives a crap what Kotaku and all these sites think about a Japanese character design having big boobs. No one gives a crap, okay? Most people don't give a crap about this because most people just want, most people don't even play video games on a daily basis. Like, most people don't even play video games on a daily basis. Like, gamers only make up 40 to 50% of the population. That means most people don't even play video games. Okay, video gamers are still a minority of the population. Okay, but not including mobile gamers, but people who just play Candy Crush every occasional. That those people, people who play games every day, is probably around 20 to 30% of the population, because they're mostly either kids, old people with a lot of time, or YouTubers or streamers. Okay, but yeah, that's about this video here. So Farm Folks, that whole random controversy about this random game that no one has heard of. I bet in a month no one will be talking about this game. No one will be talking about this game. This game's not gonna have it's gonna get people who are farming games are gonna play it. Again, we'll wait and see. Again, I said Valorant would die in a month, and people still play Valorant, especially major streamers. Whereas, again, it really depends if people will actually play this game for the gameplay and not just the jiggle physics, which is what they or the female character designs as well. But yeah, that's about this video here. Goodbye.